The so-called Ukrainian Conor McGregor is apparently nothing but a big old myth, a big old lie. And apparently he's also not that great when it comes to UFC caliber talent because Alonzo Menifield put him in his place real quick. We got some more Herb Dean controversy coming up. It's seeming like that's becoming at least a monthly thing, unfortunately, for what used to be the best ref in MMA. Then also we have a crazy matchup that's very likely at the featherweight division, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Also, the UFC goes back to Singapore this weekend, where we get to possibly see the crowning of Yuri Prochazka, or Old Man Glover gets the job once again, and is Valentina in for the hardest test of her title run? We're going to see, because of course this is UFC Talk 91. I'm your host, Ross Allen, joined alongside by the best MMA correspondent in the business, Blake. And Blake, how are we feeling after what was a good night of fights overall with UFC Vegas 56?
Yeah, I mean, there's a healthy amount of finishes, I'd say, and pretty good entertainment. The main event didn't disappoint, in my opinion. Of course, besides the Herb Dean controversy, and I say controversy in air quotes, but
yeah, we're going. I'm pretty sure we had the same thoughts on it, but we're going to get into it.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, overall, a great fight card, in my opinion, for just a regular Saturday non-pay-per-view fight card. Can't really complain too much.
Dude, I gotta say, I think that afternoon time slot is underrated. I enjoy it for like fight nights and like non-super high caliber cards. I think it's a great spot.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I was able to go out and get an early dinner afterwards, so you can't complain with that. Getting a little extra time to spend with your loved ones and do some other activities rather than just watching people punch each other in the face. Which
you have loved ones. Congrats.
Still love that. Hey, so do you, bro? I love you.
Yeah,
gives me more time to shoot you a couple texts.
But we don't spend much time together. You're stuck in California, man.
I know. I need to get out of here. It's too hot.
You'll be up here for the wedding next year. It's all good, right?
Oh, absolutely, dude. Just send me that invite and I'm there. Dude,
you already got the invite. You're going to get better. Huh? I don't want to go into it because I know some people might watch this. Dude, that's one thing. There's a lot of drama that you could cause just by who you invite and who you don't to a wedding. My word.
I feel like it's mostly family, though. You got to get the family all the invited and taken care of. And then after that, I feel like friends are a little bit more understanding. But yeah, it's tough. It's kind of like the MySpace top friends deal. You might be a little too young for that, but definitely.
I know what you're talking about.
Or maybe for you, Snapchat top friends back in the day.
Snapchat. I was also never big. I didn't get into MySpace much. Never really got into Snapchat much.
Dude, it was bad. It would like take data for like who you Snapchatted and stuff, and it would like it used to be. You could see everyone's top friends list. Like, it would show their, like, 3 most Snapchatted people.
Is it private now?
Yeah, now it's private. But you can still, if you're best friends with that person, it'll show, like, an emoji or whatever, like a smiley face. And if it's, like, the same, or if you have, like, the same person in your top friends, it'll show, like, a little cool glasses, smiley face dude.
Ooh, so you can know
certain things.
You can know if you only talk to that person and they don't talk to you, kind of in a way?
Yeah, like if they're on your top friends, then it'll show. But if you're not on their top friends, then it'll also show you that. So it can cause a little drama. But yeah, I digress.
I love drama. Drama's fun. Oh yeah, no, it's a big old mess right there. I will hold the distinction of having a Snapchat score here. I think last time I checked, it is ridiculously low, and I am very proud about that, especially compared to some of the other people my age here. All right, Blake, we're going to guess it. Let me find it. Also, it's like, man, this is how okay, I found it. Let's see. How close can you get to my Snapchat score? Take a guess. What do you think it is?
Shoot, I don't know. 4,000.
4,000? You know,
Sure.
I wish. I'm actually at 14.
Oh, 14,000. Okay, there you go.
It's a bummer.
I was pretty active on it back in the day. I think mine's like 78,543.
Dang. Okay.
But that was all probably, 2014, 2015 to like 2018, 19. I barely used that shit now.
Compared to like some of the other friends, like people I've seen on Snapchat and stuff like that, there's people with like 100,000 easy. I don't understand that. I think I've been using it. So technically, I've had Snapchat since like I think my junior year of high school. So it's been what 6 years. I have 14,000, and then people out here, using for way less and have like 1 million. You guys need to get off Snapchat. Sweet damn kid.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to texting people with phone numbers, Blake? Am I like a boomer for thinking that, for being old fashioned?
No, I mean, I think I definitely still have a few text groups, and I still text like the lady and all that stuff. But
good.
But I don't know, like Instagram's definitely made it. Like they kind of closed the gap in that sense with the group chats, and you can send videos and all that.
It's just where like you ask someone for their, especially dudes asking girls for their Snapchat. I'm like, go for the number, man. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Right?
I go for the number for sure. If I was still in the game.
Hey, you don't need to anymore though, because my boy Blake is moving up in the world. Hell yeah!
Shout out the girl.
Hey, shout out the girl, because I can fill on my guest list. I can fill in Blake's +1 with the real name now.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about me bringing like a guy friend or something.
A rando, some chick you meet at the airport.
Yeah, no. It's gonna be legit.
Hey, look at this. We got on a super untopical rant nice and early into the show. I hope you haven't clicked off yet, because we're actually going to talk about MMA now, believe it or not, because we're going to start things off with UFC Vegas 56. And one of the things we got to ask ourselves every time we have a fight night, Blake, did the banger sit?
Let me remind myself. It was Dan Ige and Evil, right?
Yeah, which was an exciting fight.
O'Day Osborne, right? Versus
yes, super glad you put O'Day up there.
And then Alonzo Menefield versus Oscar Mazarov. Is that who I went for the third?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I would say those pretty much all. Like probably the boringest one was the Evil Dan Ige fight, and it wasn't that boring.
No, it wasn't.
It was competitive. You didn't get a finish, obviously. A little bit of.
It looked like he was about to. We can get into that fight in a few minutes, but if there were some slow points.
There were definitely some slow points, but yeah, I would say the bangers hit out of all the fights on that card. There was definitely some other ones that might have been a little more exciting, but
maybe Truzano in Almeida.
Yeah, like that was a crazy third round finish.
It was.
So
yes, it was.
And that one was. I think we highlighted that one. Talking about how he won the Ultimate Fighter for I think it was DC's, right? DC and Stipe's season.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. And also, I had to shout Tony Gravely as well. He got that first round knockout.
That was a good knockout too. That was a great punch.
That was a fun knockout,
dude. It was cool. Like the way it sounded, it was like a club. Just like I don't know. It was just a sweet sound.
It was. It's a punch that I do not want to get hit by. That's for sure. If I get hit by that, I'm going to be feeling that for sure.
Definitely.
Right, but that was good stuff. Well, I want to get into a little bit more with this one, going off the bangers, and let's talk about that Askar Mosarev kind of guy, because if you remember last week when we were trying to look up his record and stuff like that, we were having some issues because there were multiple records, like they're all different, a few different spots. Sherdog, Tapology, Google, all that fun stuff. And there's a reason to it, because this guy is a freaking liar, Blake. The night before the fights, he goes from 25-7 to 19-12. That is a sharp drop off right there. And it's also a guy that says he doesn't copy Conor McGregor, but his nickname is literally the Ukrainian Conor McGregor. I'd be willing to put a bet that Conor McGregor got those tats first. And, the best part about it, Alonzo Menefield does, and the MMA community, a big favor and puts him into a brutal crucifix position and elbows away his forehead until the ref calls a fight. I'm glad it turned out that way, because Askar's kind of a bitch.
Yeah, that was a gnarly crucifix. I don't think very often we've seen something that violent from that position, but
Maybe Valentina was the last time. What was that? UFC 265, 3?
Yeah, something like that. But I don't know, man. He caved that dude's face in. It was pretty brutal.
I was pretty happy with it. What do you think about this guy, though? How does this get past the UFC? Does the UFC not do a great job at actually tracking some of these fighters, or did he get a good jump on the UFC? What do you think went wrong here?
Dude, I don't even know. I mean, it's weird. Like, I heard the guy was like changing his name or doing some weird things. So I mean, he was really doing everything in his power to kind of like buff up his record. But definitely, I think UFC needs to do a better job, obviously, at sniffing these things out before all this stuff gets finalized. But I mean, it looks like they figured it out at the last second. So maybe just the only critique is a little sooner next time.
Right, and what do you think about him though? Because he's essentially he lies to the UFC. If the UFC knew he was 19 and 12, there's a great chance he doesn't get this opportunity to fight in the promotion, and then he goes out and gets his ass whipped in the first round. You cut him?
I mean, I think so. He didn't really show anything that was like, oh, we should really keep this guy around, or
maybe he
brings in a bunch of
fans. The lower levels of Bellator.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It kind of shows his character too, with what he kind of did. So I don't think it's a big loss for them. He's a nobody, so it's like, who cares? Kind of cut your losses. And there's really no losses, so it's like, cut your dead weight.
just cut the baggage, right?
It was a good headline though, right? I mean, it got some headlines this week.
He might be able to, purely off of name value alone, he might be able to get on some indies or some regional circuits.
Yeah, maybe. Change his name again.
Back to Ukraine.
Clean record.
Gosh, dude. Well,
is that all it takes? You just change your name and you get a new record? You know what was funny too? Is I figured out last week when we were talking about the Ultimate Fighter, that Bobby Maximus guy, the 40-something-year-old dude.
Yeah.
He actually got his name changed. I don't know if it's like official or whatever, but he's going by Bobby Maximus now. And I can't remember what his name was before, but kind of similar, but obviously his record stayed the same. Like, he didn't get a new record because he changed his name. Well,
maybe because he's not a damn cheater. Maximus does sound like a cool name anyway. It sounds like old Roman legionary, gladiator. That's a fighter name right there. Also, speaking of which, he fought on Last Tough, right?
Yeah, do you want me to ruin it for you or what?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. Ruin it? Okay.
I mean, in the most predictable fashion.
Spoiler alert. Blake is going to tell us about one of the worst seasons of Tough I've seen. Let's have it.
Do you think that a 40-something-year-old dude would win in a fight against like a really young buck in the heavyweight division? Like, just common sense.
I was hoping, man. Was it competitive at least?
Actually, the first... Did it go 2 rounds? I can't remember if it went 2 rounds. I think it did go 2 rounds. Okay. The first round, he was actually doing pretty good. He got like a takedown or two. But you could tell he just gassed. Like, he gassed out. Damn. And then the dude, like the number 1 pick on Nunes's team, I can't freaking remember his name. He's pretty slick, actually. Like, his hands are pretty damn good.
He's like a big boy, right?
Yeah, he's a big boy, and he trains at AKA. And so he ended up just kind of piecing him up and taking him out. So it wasn't really too hard. I want to say it was a second-round finish. And then last night's fight was actually probably my favorite fight of the season almost.
Which one was that?
Juliana girl. She's the one that kind of...
the one with the red hair that, they put a clip where she had to cut her hair to make weight?
Yeah, that's Claire.
Okay.
So she fought against this Juliana girl who's kind of like... She has the hoop earrings and shit, and kind of talks with like a weird accent, like a little girl almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. I don't know if you want me to spoil that one too.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Juliana with a close... Well, not really too close in the end, but it was hotly contested up until the 3rd round, I'd say. And then she just kind of pulled away. It looked like Claire kind of got exhausted a little bit. But it was a good fight. I mean, they were throwing down. Like, the first round was awesome. The second round, Juliana started to turn the tide. 3rd round, she really just solidified it. But
good fight, though.
Yeah, and I mean, Dana White even afterwards wanted to talk to Juliana. So, I mean, it was a good performance. You could kind of see the dog in her, She really wanted to win that fight.
I like that. Okay.
It was a rematch, too, because they had already fought beforehand. So it had a little bit of hype behind it, too.
I can respect that then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pretty cool.
that's not horrible. Kind of
Still nothing crazy though. Nothing. No coaches challenge yet. No.
Still? Is
no
that
big
like
drama.
episode 4?
There was
Episode
one
5?
girl that cried last episode, but it was really stupid and it was over some dumb shit.
Oh, it wasn't over her dad dying. That was a different.
No, it was the Juliana girl that fought.
Yeah.
The girl that thought she was like supposed to win it all, like I want to say black, but I don't think she's black. She's like Colombian or Cuban,
South
or
American,
some type of something. You know what I mean? I can't remember where she came from, but she was saying like, "Oh, I saw you were sizing me up earlier," blah 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 blah, because Juliana asked her for a hug or something, and then Juliana just starts like crying, saying like, "Oh, I only wanted a hug, you know, like my grandma, she says the most important thing in the world to her is a hug from her loved ones," and just starts crying and shit. And it was dumb.
That's not good TV.
It was kind of cringy, but I mean, other than that, yeah, nothing really of note.
I understand the other, when you know your dad dying. That's something to cry over. Someone reject. Gosh, dude.
Yeah. It was weird because like that one girl was super on edge, like out of nowhere. You're like, whoa, what the hell? Like she asked you for a hug. What are you talking about? And the other girl just starts crying. You're like, okay, like.
So it's just a crap
on?
show on either side. That sounds so stupid.
Okay. I'm hoping at some point there's
something
worth watching.
Something would be nice. I appreciate something. But let's move on from the horribleness that's tough. It goes something that was horrible for one guy, that was Dan Ige, because he got ran through by Movsar Evloev because, dude, he's a wrestling machine. He's showing improved striking as well. That flying knee was pretty tight. And if it wasn't for Dan Ige's iron chin, I don't think that that fight would have gone the distance. And at this point, I'm not sure if Dan Ige will ever be back near the top of the division. And it looks like Movsar is on his way to a title shot.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who Movsar gets next. I mean, there's already a couple decent options for him out there. But
I'm thinking Bryce Mitchell. What are you thinking?
Bryce Mitchell would be cool. Yeah, I think that would be a good one because that would kind of be like the prove it fight for both of them. Like, okay, who's ready for that next step towards the title? Because I think Bryce he took out Edson his last fight, right? So he definitely deserves a chance to kind of solidify his spot in the.
He
the
whooped
top
Edson's ass.
5 to
Not
7.
just took him out. He whooped his ass for 3 rounds.
Yeah. Hey, I called that, dude. I picked him.
Yes, you did. Respect to Blake. Give him
to the bone.
his flowers. Here.
Yeah, I mean that would be a good fight. I'd like to see those two dudes go at it because I mean, good luck keeping Bryce on the ground like that. And Bryce has slick striking too, so it'd be cool to see who could implement their game plan.
I think that'd be a fun one. Real quick, Blake, just for your going back to your prediction, Edson Barboza, I'll give you something. Can you just take your hand, put it over, take your right hand, put it over your left shoulder, and then pat yourself twice. There you go. That's all we're giving you. Congrats, by the way. I'm really excited.
Fight night predictions are fire.
They have no need to. Well, I got half right. I got the winner right this week. You know, just not the. You picked what, second round finish?
I think I picked second. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was first.
You were pretty right, man. Volkov by knockout. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't expect them to get going. Like it seemed like Jairzinho hit him with like those 2 shots that kind of like pissed Volkov off, and then Volkov just
went for it.
Unloaded. I was like, oh my god.
Right, and we'll get to that in a second. But going back to the featherweights, I'm really excited to see how this plays out because the next opponent for Movsar is going to be great. He moves at 3 spots to number 10 now, takes Dan Ige's spot. And then next week, we get to see how the top of the division is going to shake out between Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett, which has big implications on the line. We're seeing other fighters talk about wanting to fight the Korean Zombie. Got Arnold Allen talking or calling him out after Movsar tries to call out Arnold Allen. I'd rather Arnold fight up and not down. As well, and also, you know, even now we even have Bryce Mitchell going Twister versus Twister against Chan Sung Jung. So, what do you think happens in this featherweight division? Do you think maybe Movsar says sell with the loser of Emmett versus Cater? Does he get the winner? What do you see here?
I don't really think Movsar has the ability to really call out the top dogs yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think
fight?
I think he could definitely settle for the loser of the Cater and Emmett fight. Or he could get an Allen, a Korean Zombie, a Bryce Mitchell, one of those guys in that area. Mm-hmm. So I think any of those guys would really be a good option for him. But I don't think he can start calling for, winners of title contending fights yet. Basically, I don't think he can call out like a Yair or a Brian, who I'm pretty sure they're matched up. I don't think he can call out, the winner of those fights for.
Are they fighting on Long Island?
Emmett. I can't tell you off the top of my head. I just know that fight got announced very.
I just know that fight night in Long Island looks freaking great right now, especially with Billy Q on the card.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout Billy Q, man. Dude's underrated. He's one of those guys that's pretty much a certified banger at this point. For
the most part, yeah. I don't think I've seen a bad fight of his.
Exactly. I'm a huge fan. But let's get into that main event there, like we kind of were talking about between Volkov kind of getting in on Rose early. I think Rozenstruik is now 1-3 in his last 4 fights after entering the UFC with a undefeated record. That's a tough position to be in. But even Volkov getting a really clean, well, I guess I wouldn't say really clean knockout win. He did get the TKO finish in this fight in the first round, but he's also in a weird spot because he's kind of already fought everyone near the top of that division. But also, before we get into trying to guess what's next for these guys, this wasn't a bad stoppage, man. I don't know. I just gotta say that because I could see how it could come off as a questionable stoppage, and I totally understand Rozenstruik's point about this being a questionable stoppage because no, Rozenstruik was not out. He tweeted, was someone laying flat on the canvas with their eyes closed? No, that was not the case. But also, I think Rozenstruik was kind of toast there. What do you think?
I definitely don't think it was a bad stoppage.
Yeah.
I guess
it's not a great stoppage, but it's not a bad stoppage.
Yeah, you could have let him get punched in the face a couple more times, but, I think the result was going to state how it turned out.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any, giving him more time or anything like that's not going to change anything. I'm pretty sure Volkov was just going to continue just pounding his face. So,
if he wasn't knocked out by then, he's probably just going to. His knees buckled, man. When you see someone's knees buckle like that, it's a pretty good sign. Yeah,
he was hurting for sure. But you ask where do we go from here? I think for Rozenstruik, what do you think about a guy like Daukus? Do you think, or Daukus, I should say?
I think that might be the perfect fight.
Because I think that would be both kind of coming off losses, right?
Hot prospects, couple losses. They swing and bank. 9-8 right there too with the rankings.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll be fluid. They might drop 1 or 2 more each, but
yeah,
they're still right there, neck and neck with each other right now. And I think it would be a pretty entertaining fight. They have decently similar builds. Chris is probably a little lighter, obviously, and Jairzinho might be a little more stocky. But
I'm still hoping Chris drops to light heavyweight, to be honest.
Yeah, that's another thing, too, I was wondering is if he's going to stick it out at heavyweight. But I think if he does, that would be an interesting fight. That would be a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that would suck if Rozenstruik loses that one because, I don't know, Rozenstruik is probably a loss away from getting cut, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, bit of a bummer because he's good too. But
yeah,
that top of that UFC heavyweight division is just killers that will knock you out in one hit. And with Volkov too, it's kind of cool seeing Volkov get back to not only winning but winning in knockout fashion. It feels like it's been a while since we've seen that side of him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough to tell what we do with him because I think everyone else is kind of tied up, right? I want to say Stipe is most likely fighting Jones. Isn't it Blades versus Aspinall or is it Blades versus Tuivasa?
Blades versus Aspinall. It's Tuivasa versus Gane at Paris.
Right. So everyone's pretty much tied up right now. So it's
maybe you could do a Marcin Tybura against Volkov but Volkov would be teetering on gatekeeper status at that point for the top 10. I'm not sure.
I kind
Not
of
sure if
feel
he's
like
ready
you
for
just put him on
gatekeeper.
ice. Just kind of put him on ice and see where the chips fall. Like let some of these heavyweight fights play out. Like maybe he can fight a loser or a winner of some of those fights. Like,
Maybe
I'm sure,
the winner of Lewis versus Pavlovich.
like, dude, if Tuivasa lost, which probably is going to happen, or if Aspinall loses, like I don't think he's fought either of those guys yet. I'm sure he could fight.
He just
those
lost
guys.
Aspinall at UFC in London, homie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, so I think best bet is
Tuivasa though.
Tuivasa if he loses, or the winner of Lewis and Pavlovich.
And that's what I'm saying. It's
later
way
in
too early to even think about it right now. You got to let some of
Yeah.
these chips fall. Like there's just too much that has to play out.
It's so weird with Volkov, though, because he's clearly a great heavyweight, but I don't think he'll ever be in title contention again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's gotta let it play out.
He's
We'll
a big
see what
frame, so-
happens.
Right? That's going to be a fun one to see, though. Remember, like, at the early, like a while ago, the UFC heavyweight division was not in a good state. There's been stretches over the last 5 years where the UFC heavyweight division wasn't necessarily in a great state. Right now, the heavyweight division might be as good as it's ever been. And so that's super exciting, as a fan, has to be super exciting as a fighter, and for promotion itself, it must be great, nice seeing your division having one of the greatest eras it has ever had. But that's going to do it for our thoughts when it comes to UFC Vegas 56. Let's get your opinions on the stoppage in the main event. Does Herb Dean deserve the slack he's getting, or should we give that man a little bit of credit? What's going to happen with Dan Ige in his career at the top of the featherweight division? Is Movsar Evloev going to be a future champion? And your thoughts on the so-called Ukrainian Conor McGregor as well. But before we get into the next segment, which is What the Blank, just want to shout out a couple of things. Of course, you can find all of our stuff over at thefourthandlong.com. All of our MMA-centric stuff over at thefourthandlong.com/MMA. Want to give a huge shout out to our homies. Shout out to Greg with the And Then Some podcast. A shout out to Chris with the Unmatched MMA show, as well as the boys over at Slip the Jab. All run the tight ship, and I really respect the hell out of them. I think they do a great job, and you guys should check them out as well. But one thing I want to get into now, Blake, is there's been some pretty cool news with Dana White actually being interested in something that can save Tough, possibly. There's a lot of foreign cards taking place this year with talks of Canada as well. And we're getting into there's two fighters on UFC Vegas, UFC 275. I don't know, maybe soon enough here we will get UFC Vegas 275 with the way it's looking. Damn. But there's some crazy woman on this fight, or on this card, with some impressive as hell championship runs, and we're going to get into that because it's time for What the Blank, as Blake fills in the blanks on 3 statements, and where we say what the blank to Blake, where each statement has a blank at either the beginning, the middle, or the end, and it's up to Blake to fill in the blank with whatever he so blanking chooses. Of course, for those that don't know how this works, kind of like I said there, 3 statements for Blake, and it's up to him to fill in the blank with anything he so chooses. It could be a statement, it could be a word, it could be an entire essay. It is entirely up to him. But start us off, Blake. Great news for us Tough fans, because this season, safe to say, has been great. But there is one thing that can save it, and that's this first statement where Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov on Tough would be blank.
It would be, I think it would be pretty phenomenal. I mean, 2 guys that for sure don't like each other, but I think they would have a good business relationship, though. I think they would both be able to kind of realize the opportunity that's kind of in front of them, and I think
Chael and Vanderlei.
yeah, I don't know necessarily like that, like Vanderlei.
I don't know if Vanderlei understood the whole thing.
Yeah.
Chael kind of had to explain it to him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Tony and Khabib are probably a lot more business savvy, plus newer age guys. They kind of get the whole promotional standpoint of everything. So yeah, I think it would be fun. I think it would be awesome for the fighters. I mean, you get to learn from 2 I mean, one arguably GOAT, and two, one of the best of all time, like possibly top 3 to 5 of the lightweight division of all time. Just considering like his run, talking about Tony. So I think fighters would benefit, the fans would benefit, the promotion would benefit. The only shitty thing would be obviously it'd be like Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber, how they didn't fight. But
Yeah.
I still think it would be super entertaining. I mean, they're going to get into some shenanigans when they, when they're together.
Wait, who do you think is going to who is going to give who a slice of tiramisu, or leave it in the locker room or something
Tony,
like that?
obviously. Tony's going to be having tiramisu on lock, I guarantee it.
And then you see Khabib placing TV cables everywhere.
Oh, man. Yeah. There's going to be tons of ammunition, I would say.
Oh, that'd be
on
so
both
great.
sides.
Right? Oh, man. That'd be good because, like you say, even though they won't fight, I think just the entertainment value alone from them being coaches would be off the charts,
Yeah. Super
And
competitive.
I would love to see, I would genuinely love to see Tony is a coach as well.
Yeah. I mean,
Just see what
he
he's
would
like.
be crazy, probably. But, I mean, I'm
Imagine
sure
being
his
honest.
trainings are probably tough as hell.
Whose team would you rather be on? If you were a fighter, drafted to either guy, who would you rather be on, Team Khabib or Team Tony?
Well, I mean, you know me, I'm probably more of a Tony guy.
Yeah.
I'm
Too
a
much
crazy
wrestling
ass.
with Khabib.
Too much wrestling, but I mean, I still would respect that. Like, that would definitely be, like, if I really wanted to win, probably Khabib.
Yeah.
But if I'm confident in my abilities and I kind of just want to go there, have fun, and kind of vibe, be with a coach that I'll probably get along with better and probably get more out of, then I'd probably go with Tony. But, I mean, I'm
sure the trainings
Khabib
would be a lot of fun. You'd be doing
Oh,
the
yeah.
randomest stuff.
be doing parkour, some ninja workouts.
2 hours of parkour every day.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Khabib, it's like you're just going to be getting your ass beat. You're just going to be getting freaking ragdolled.
You're just going to get. It's just 10 hours a day of wrestling and the battle bike.
Yeah, an occasional practice of an overhand or something
Maybe a jab.
every now and then.
That's a little too much though. Little too
One per
technical.
hour.
I will say Khabib does have a good jab though, but that would be a fantastic season of Tough, guaranteed. But also one of the next things we're going to talk about here is that we're seeing, obviously we're getting UFC Paris later this year, and then also later this week we're getting UFC in Singapore. We're seeing maybe talks of Australia again. We're seeing talks of Canada again. So with this being said, and kind of talk about a question for that quiz I had for you last week as well. If you missed that quiz, I'll deem the hardest fan quiz for UFC. Gave it to Blake last week. He said that was a lot of fun. Go check that one out. But statement number 2, Blake, is that the best non-U.S. city to host a pay-per-view is blank.
Is this like personal preference or like
Personal
like
preference.
I could choose any city to have,
I'll give you personal.
or is it like where it's been held before? Like, what's my favorite that it's been held at before?
How about if you can choose of any city that there has or has not been a card at already?
If I could just pick a city for it to go to?
Non-U.S. city, yep.
I feel like it would be kind of sick. I don't know if this would even be possible, but like, what if you like souped up one of the old? I mean, it's probably illegal and impossible, but like, what if you went to Rome and like souped up one of the old Colosseums?
Dude, that would the actual Roman call. That would be
legit. But I guarantee, like, it's closed to many people of the public. I'm sure you can get like tours and stuff, but probably can't hold events there.
So I'm hearing, Blake, instead of Fight Island Abu Dhabi, the UFC should go to like an island of Italy, maybe like Sicily or something like that, maybe somewhere with land, and recreate the Roman Colosseum to host fights in.
Dude, that'd be sick.
That would be badass. That would genuinely be bad. Even if it was something like where there were no fans in attendance and just TV crews, but they put an octagon in the middle of what's now the Colosseum, in the Colosseum ruins.
It'd be pretty sweet.
I love that idea. Dude, UFC Rome?
Dude, that'd be insane.
Yeah. The
UFC Rome Coliseum.
Oh, dude, I love the way. Are we gonna have Dana White? Giving the thumbs up or down?
Yeah, like, should I just punch this guy's head off? Should I Max Griffin chop this guy's ear off with my elbow?
Oh, jeez, dude. That would be great. Or I guess another way to do that as well, if you want to include the decisions of up or down, you can even almost have like some contender series fights. So either you get the contract or you don't.
There you go,
dude. And then the loser, if you don't get the contract, you get fed to Lions. Easy.
Yeah, just get rid of him.
That's what's going to happen to the Asgard guy.
Oh, shit. That's what you get, liar.
Just fed to Lions.
Chop his arm off after the fight.
Oh, jeez. Let's go back to that. Maybe as fans, like, we just got to do something where just one of the days for the fights, we eat nothing but, artisan bread and drink wine. Like the good old Roman days.
Some grapes, maybe some olives. Absolutely.
Dude.
That's part of my diet already.
Exactly. Well, the bread is, I do grapes, not necessarily wine, though.
Hey, wine's awesome, I'll tell you right now.
I'll substitute for grape juice. I'll do that.
There you go. Yeah.
We'll just get a loaf of bread and some grape juice. You'll have your loaf of bread and wine, and we'll watch some fights.
There you go.
Do you want to even wear, like, we'll take some bed sheets. We'll make our own togas, man.
What would Jesus do?
Jesus would probably be very nice to the Romans and not fight them. At least not physically. He fights them with words. That's my Jesus. All right. Now, last statement, moving on from Rome. I don't know how we topped that one, but last statement, especially with the fighters like Valentin Shevchenko, who's on a tear, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who arguably is, especially since, we know how that Rose and Esparza fight, ended. She is still the greatest women's strawweight of all time. This one is blank is the best women's championship reign in the UFC.
Well, probably Amanda Nunes for the moment. Mm-hmm. But I think Shevchenko is coming for that coming for that title.
Yeah.
Just because Nunes lost to Pena, but if she can go and regain her title, like get her belt back, I think that kind of solidifies her reign, and then maybe get like a couple more defenses after that. That'll really solidify it. But I think so far Amanda, just because of who she beat, like the Rouseys, the Holmes, the Cyborgs. She's just beat some really phenomenal
Shevchenko
people.
Too.
Shevchenko. Yeah. She's just beat some amazing people. And Shevchenko hasn't achieved the double champ status, even though some people might say, oh, it's 145 and 135. It's not that impressive. Whatever. She's still got 2 belts.
Hey, man, Nunes still the undisputed UFC featherweight women's champion of the world.
with exactly 0 fighters being ranked underneath her. That's awesome. But yeah, I think it's Amanda Nunes. I just think as of right now, it's got to still be her. Shevchenko has a ways to go. I'd say until she can pass that up. But she's definitely on the right track.
Where'd you rank Joanna's strawweight run? Maybe 3rd then?
3rd for sure. It's still, in my opinion, still really, really impressive. She was up there and just kind of dominating that division for a few years.
Yeah.
And then really just got taken out by Rose and Wei Li. She gets her chance now to patch things up with Wei Li and
I thought she won that first one anyway, so this is going to be a fun fight.
It was close. And the look of her face definitely didn't help, probably, in the judges' opinions.
The hematoma did not look great. And I would love to get into that fight because we're going to move on from What the Blank, of course. Give us your thoughts. What city would you love, or venue even, would you love to see a UFC pay-per-view take place? What is the greatest women's championship reign of all time? And what would happen if Khabib and Tony Ferguson were tough coaches? But let's jump into UFC 275 here, because what I want to take a look at, especially, we get part 2 of Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Zhang Weili in a fight where, Joanna definitely, at very least, arguably won the first fight. This is a hell of a rematch. It's the greatest women's fight of all time. Two of the greatest women's strawweights of all time. You have the greatest one in there. You have, Wei Li with the chance of getting that still, I'd argue, even though she's lost to Rose twice, there's still a chance in there, maybe just not the best one, but this is a fun card. This is going to be interesting seeing the road to the UFC fights taking place with those local fighters in the days leading up to this card. Unfortunately, we're not getting Robert Whittaker versus Marvin Vettori. That would really put this card over the top, but we still get some great ones mixed in. We get to see some local talent taking place. We get to see the return of Blake's favorite, or at least formerly favorite, Dana Batragel. Is he still on your nice list?
Oh yeah, I'm still looking forward to his fights, but definitely took a damper with that last fight. We'll see if he can bounce back.
That's for sure. Definitely going to take a look at that one, and we also, it's a decent main card. Ramazan Ameev and Jack Della is a guy that brings it, so that could be a fun fight as well. I like Manuel Cape and Bontorin. Good fight. Unfortunately, they really do kind of feel more like pay-per-view prelim fights, but it's no big deal because we get three amazing fights at the end with Valentina Shevchenko actually probably having the toughest fight of her title run so far, very arguably against 19-1 Talia Santos. But Blake, let's get into it. The fights we need to look out for the most, the ones that are guaranteed to hit. What are the Blake's bangers for UFC 275?
All right, for 275, I'm going to go with Andre Fialho versus Jake Matthews. I just think these are two really impressive welterweight contenders that are rising up the ranks pretty fast. Fialho, didn't he fight like 2 times within 2 weeks or something crazy, like not too long ago?
Yeah, and both wins.
Yeah, and and he's been getting pretty sweet finishes too. Like I think his past 2 wins have been KOs. So really impressed with that guy. Can't wait to see what he does against Jake Matthews, another guy that just is very consistent and gets the W more often than not. I think his last fight he might have lost to Sean Brady, but it was pretty competitive if I'm not mistaken. I think he got submitted, but still, he's still a good prospect.
It's a submission loss against Sean Brady. That's not the worst thing on your record.
Right. Moving on, we're going to have Brendan Allen versus Jacob Malkoun. I think this is going to be another good fight. Brendan Allen is always kind of a scrapper, a guy that kind of gets into these pretty hotly contested battles. He's kind of up and down every now and then, but it seems like it's always a fight that's worth watching. So I'm excited to see what he can do against Malkoun.
Absolutely.
And then finally, the featured banger. I think this one anyone could see coming. It's going to be Young Jacek versus Wei Li. And that's just, I think, all we got to say. It's going to be the best women's fight ever ⑥2.
What do you think about this it being the second one? Because I might just be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think it's as exciting in as much of a swing and bang contest as the first one is. I think this one's going to be a bit of a slower pace, a bit more of a closer chess match than the first one.
I hope you're wrong.
Me too. But I don't know, man. It's also a very hard fight to, live up to.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, recreating that is going to be obviously super difficult, but they're both extremely high-level fighters, and when they get in the thick of things, it's going to be there's not going to be anywhere to run or hide.
Of course.
Like they're going to be throwing leather, and someone's going to get hurt. Both of them are probably going to get hurt. So
another hematoma
I think it's just
up.
Inevitable. Yeah.
Joanne's going to get payback. He's just going to give Wei Li a hematoma.
Hey, we'll see, man. We'll see. My heart's definitely riding with Joanna.
Absolutely. I shout out to the Strawweight Queen. I always like to ride with her. And what do you think? Let's get into the brass tacks. These 3 fights that we're going to focus in on. Of course, we're going to drop our entire predictions for the prelims and the main card closer to fight time on our socials. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Fourth and Long Media. But your thoughts? Let's start things with Zhang Weili and Joanna Jacek. I like Joanna in the rematch here. I thought she got it done the first one. I think even though I hopefully this layoff proves well for her as well. How are you feeling?
I'm actually going to go with Wei Li. I think she's just still
Stud.
I don't know, just a little. She's got a little more power to her, and I just think she's going to be able to wear down Joanna. I'm going to go with another decision victory, but hopefully it's as good of a fight as it was the first time.
I'll go decision in this one, and the winner of this fight is going to get the next title shot for the women's strawweight belt. Confirmed by Dana White that they are, quote, absolutely going to get that over the streaking Marina Rodriguez, which is somewhat disrespectful for her, but I also completely understand this decision by Dana because, it's going to be a banger of a fight.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Also, the rankings are more of a suggestion anyway, instead of an actual guideline. We've known that for the last few years now or so. Hop into the women's flyweight co-main for the title. Valentina Shevchenko takes on Talia Santos, the 19-1 record. Talia Santos, I believe she's also undefeated in the UFC. What do you think about this fight? Should Valentina Shevchenko be a little bit worried?
I mean,
or at least, I know she won't be worried, but maybe fans of Valentina Shevchenko, should they be worried?
I don't think so. I mean, I definitely think it's not going to be a cakewalk, but I think Valentina is going to be able to get the job done. She's going to be able to find a way to expose this girl. I'm probably going to go with a third-round TKO for Valentina.
I like that. I'm hoping because Valentina, I mean, her last couple fights have been funny because, I mean, maybe not the one against Jessica Andrade, but that last one with Lauren Murphy, it looked like almost like she was just taking her time in that fight, just kind of picking her apart. She ended up getting the TKO with elbows in the fourth round. Didn't look like she had a lot of, I guess, need or wanted to get going at it, because that's just how good she's been. Her last three of her last four fights have ended in a TKO from elbows, so there's a great chance we get to see the same here. I think Talia pushes her. I am going to go with Valentina by decision. Valentina by decision. Let's see about that one. It should be an interesting fight for sure. I'm definitely more curious about this fight in terms of the winner than I was over Murphy versus Andrade versus Maia, especially versus Chukagian. Even Kamarush, I think the last one I was really interested in is probably maybe Ioana and Jacek back in 2018. So it feels like it might have been a while. But let's hop into the main event here, Blake, because we have a big one for the light heavyweight division. We get the streaking undefeated in the UFC, Yuri Prochazka, taking on Glover Teixeira, the veteran, in his first title defense. This is going to be a super interesting one because on one hand, I would love to see Yuri versus Jan Blachowicz for the belt, but also it would just be insane to see Glover get a title defense against a guy like this. Maybe Yuri starts going crazy every fight he's in, and so maybe Glover's able to catch him and take him down, grab his back. Who knows? Yuri does have a bit of a tendency to give up his back as well. I think this fight, I definitely don't think Yuri's just going to roll over, or we're just going to roll over Glover. You know what I mean?
I actually think he is going to roll over Glover.
Really? Oh. Okay.
It's going to be round 1 KO for Yuri.
Damn. I don't know. You could have. Well, Dom Reyes put up a real. Until that knockout, Dom Reyes put up a good fight against Yuri. I think third round knockout for Yuri. How about that? We don't get championship rounds, and you just don't think it's competitive at all.
I just think Yuri's going to connect, and he's going to send him to the Shadow Realm.
Glover to the Shadow Realm. He doesn't even get to retire first. He's just going to be sent to the Shadow Realm. Damn. Well, luckily, no matter what, Glover isn't going to be retiring after this fight. He said he wants one more after this one, no matter what. So, But also, we'll see. It depends on the kind of brain damage he gets or does not get against Yuri Prochazka. And there's anyone that goes against Yuri, there's a very good probability that they come away with part of their brain missing, because that's just the kind of fighter that I mean, any guy that, you know, fights with the Bushido code, that's like, that's gonna pique my attention. Yuri's just kind of a monster.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, you see the Lita promos or whatever. It's like Bushido code keeps me calm and like so I don't kill anyone. That's a statement. Now, was it? I feel horrible. Was it Yuri or Jan that has the noose? Was that Jan?
That's Jan.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, dude, I would dream scenario. Yuri wins, and Joanna wins. So we have a stadium pay-per-view in Poland. That would be nuts.
That would be sweet.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. You know, Jan was saying they sell out the stadium. I don't doubt him one bit. I think the Poles will be all over that fight. Two of the biggest stars to ever come for that country.
Oh, yeah.
Also, the Czechs right there in Yuri Prochazka. So, I mean, the Czechs are going to show up. So, I would love for that to happen. But yeah, also going with Yuri here. So we're split on Wei Li and Joanna, but we're also in agreement when it comes to Shevchenko and Yuri Prochazka. I like that. I like those predictions. Drop your predictions in the comments or hit us up over on our socials, or just wait till we drop our full predictions when that comes out as we get closer to the fights. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it for UFC Talk 91. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think about potential fight taking place in the Roman Coliseum itself? Should the UFC recreate it? I know it'd be a hell of a lot better than the Apex. What do you think about Dan Ige's career? And is Volkov or Rosenstruik which one out of those, who is in the weirder and arguably tougher position when it comes to their next fight? And let us know your thoughts on UFC 275. Is Valentin Shevchenko going to run into an actual challenge this time? That we will see very, very soon. But Blake, your thoughts on fighting lions in one word or phrase?
Not a good maneuver. Not a good option. Try and get out of that.
You'd be a great coach, man. That's why I don't have you on. I'll have a guy both hooks in with his arm around my neck and be like, "Don't be there, man. Get out of there."
Shouldn't have gotten that position.
That's what happens a couple times in training. Like my coach would I'll just be in a horrible spot, man, during jitsu, and coach just looks over like, "Man, you should have got there."
Yeah.
Like, thanks, coach. Oh, I love it. I need this LCL to heal so I can get back to training. Sweet DM, I miss it. And I don't miss. I just love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, Twitch as well. Go ahead, check us out there. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoy a earlier pay-per-view again this weekend with UFC 275. Hopefully all your favorite fighters win, and we'll see all of you in the next one. Catch you guys later.